Good morning, everybody. So, just got done watching Dave Kaufman's new video on his channel about ball pythons in the wild. If you guys are interested in knowing more about them, seeing how they live in Africa, what they do out there, I would check it out. There's a lot of really good information on there. He debunks a lot of disinformation. A lot of this stuff, I don't know where it comes from, and I don't think he knows where it comes from either. But a lot of places like Reddit, Facebook, Instagram, a lot of it's toxic. A lot of this is just rumors and myths on how mostly all snakes live. But I think the biggest one is ball pythons. He basically said that 99% of all ball pythons do live in dirt mounds. They live in small dirt holes. So all you anti-rack people out there, I think you y'all are mad about nothing. So he said that there is the very few percentage of ball pythons in the regions that are heavily forested. They do go in to the trees, but that's a very, very, very small percent on them. So the people who are going around bashing everybody about keeping snakes in racks, we keep our snakes in a much cleaner environment than how they would be in nature. If we have sterile environments or we get good stuff from good people, we're not getting sick animals. There's no bugs, there's no diseases, there's nothing that can bite them or transmit a disease. Hopefully not. I mean, I know there is some diseases out there that are going around in the captive born stuff, but if you're careful, you know what you're looking for, then you guys can really look out for that and keep your animals healthy. And we have vets with a bunch of good medicine and stuff like that. So for all the people that hate on rack systems, there's no reason to. I understand if you want to build something like this or like this or like this for a ball python, perfect, go right ahead. But Dave Kaufman even shows it when he goes over to Africa, how they live, and that's basically what a rack system is. Now I do understand that there are people that stuff big snakes in small rack systems, but like this, I think this is perfectly fine. An adequate sized tub for a snake that has plenty of room to move around in, but they normally really don't move around. And somebody asked me why I don't keep hides in here. I mean, this is basically a very small tub, so this kind of is like the hide. So there's really no point of putting another hide in there when they're kind of already hiding. Now, if this was a lot higher, like these or like that, I would put a hide in there just so there's less ceiling for them. But so far, I don't know. I really haven't seen any issues with any of the snakes, whether it be the boas, although she rubs. But I don't think a hide wouldn't change that, because I've had a hide in here and she still rubs her nose at the top of here, and you can see that there are air holes, which I think is where she's cutting her face up. And I was thinking about putting tape under there, but if the tape falls off, then she get wrapped up in the tape. So I really don't know how to fix that. And this lady is gorgeous. So we'll check out this girl down here. Whoop, wrong tub. We'll look at her in a little bit. Oh, there she is. So fresh bedding, fresh repti chip in here. And she is tiny. She can actually do very, very well in one of these. One of these or one of these, which I have the Anaconda in. But I just have her in here just for whatever reason. But the VPI jungle, she just shed out and she is looking phenomenal. I had some aspen in here, and she did have a little bit of stuck shut on her tail. I tried to help her a little bit, but she bit me, which was kind of surprising because she's never bit me before, or tried to bite me, but it didn't hurt. It did draw some blood. No stuck teeth in me, so everything is okay with this girl. I just love the coloration on her. I like the stripe down her back, and we'll put her away. So we're gonna feed some of these snakes. I know, another feeding video, but we got to get these ladies up on size to try to breed them. The males are catching up very, very quickly. Oh, she's got some pee over there in the corner. Get that out quick. But the males are getting up there closer and closer to 500 grams very, very quickly. These females, she's almost at 1,000, the albino, but these ones are touching 1,000, if not 1,100. I would really like to see them. Oh, there's some more pee right there. Yuck, I should have cleaned all this stuff out before, but it happens. I would like to see them hit 1,200 grams before pairing. That way they can grow to, probably 1,500 grams before they lay, which is fine. It's going to take a couple months probably for them to pair up and do it and ovulate and stuff like that. But this girl right here is getting big. She might be the first one that goes. And I'll probably put the mahogany pied up here. The mahogany pied to her. These are black pastel mahoganies. And my problem child snakes still are here, and she shed, so apparently she's still growing, but she's not eating at all. And she's only like 800 grams, which is kind of weird. Like, she was smashing food all up until like a month and a half ago, maybe even longer than that. And this normal pied is hit or miss. So it definitely sucks because I really want to pair her up in the next couple months. There's really no deadline of when a season is over for them, because I see people pairing, and I know people that pair snakes in the springtime, in the summer, in the fall, and stuff like that. I'm not sure really about like the dead winter, but I'd like to put him to just a regular pied. But that's kind of what's going on. And then we got Mountain Dew over here. Just changed her water out because it was disgusting once again. The anacondas are really, really gross. So she's growing quickly. She's 2 years old. I know I talk about her and I say this all the time, but last year she had some really bad health issues. Thought she was going to die. Had to give her some medicine, and obviously she bounced back. And she's eating medium rats. I think a large would be a little bit too much for her. Trying to give her like maybe 2 mediums within like a 5 to 7 day range. And she'll eat. Like, if I put any food in front of her, it doesn't really matter the time of the week, she'll eat. So the only thing that I worry about is feeding her too soon, too much, because I don't want her to have a regurgitation. Everybody knows regurgitations are extremely bad on their entire system. It can kill them. And then once they regurgitate, you can't feed them for like 2 to 3 weeks. And even after that, they could still have issues. But she's definitely curious. She's definitely hungry. I do hook her out. I don't want any issues with her on a feeding response. Not that she's giving me any problems. I just don't want any ever or in the future. So we got the berm in there. Hanging out. Took her outside yesterday for just a little bit of time in the sun. And now, some of these snakes, I know some of you guys question about what I'm going to do with the anacondas when they get bigger. Honestly, I don't know. So, Mountain Dew, Pop-Tart, you guys see Pop-Tart all the time. She's 7 feet. She's in this almost 9 by 3 cage. And when she coils up, she takes up just a little bit of tiny room back there. Future plans, I have no idea. I'm just doing what I'm doing now with them. I would like to get a bigger building in the backyard. Obviously, that costs money, and money's tight right now. I don't make any money on social media, so that's not giving me any extra income. So, kind of depends on what happens with, possibly breeding, possibly job changes, or, working extra hours or something like that. So, we'll just have to see what happens in the future, because having 2 female greens and then a male, that's definitely going to be some space, although I can build more of these and stack them on top. 9x3s are basically a good size of what almost every single keeper and breeder has. Unlike Brian Barczyk, who has $10 million to build a zoo in his business, which most of us don't have. But let's get on to feeding, get these ladies up to size so we can start pairing them together here very, very soon. All right, let's feed the Suriname Redtail. This girl's growing very nicely. She should be, there we go. She's always a pretty calm eater, much calmer than the other boas. And of course, even some of the ball pythons have gotten a little a little crazy when they're eating. So we'll feed the albino. She's actually done very well on the food. Now, we all know how ball pythons are, and sometimes they're not the greatest eaters, so I'm not expecting them all to eat. And somebody's hungry right now, so let's go ahead and feed her. There we go. She's crazy. There we go. And the one cool thing, I mean, it is cool. So like the one cool thing about anacondas is that when I fill her water dish up very high, or Pop-Tarts when she was younger, watching them eat underwater is really awesome. They can take the entire meal underwater. I don't know if every snake can do that. I mean, I would assume the berms can do that. Retics can do that. I don't know if regular boas can do it. I mean, I know the anacondas are part of the boa family, but I'm talking like the typical boa. But, well, she's hungry. She's already starting to eat it. That's crazy. Normally, well, she's underwater right now. If I had the GoPro, I'd probably stick it under the water to show you guys, but this camera cannot go in water. So, she's definitely hungry. And like I said, I feed her once a week, 5 times every 5 to 7 days. I'm not trying to shock her body into getting her too fast, too quickly after what happened last year, but I think she does need to get some more fat on her body. And the pastel clown is normally always hungry. Yep, there we go. She's been a great eater. And so is the butter clown over here. This girl's awesome. So it's looking like if breeding season happens, only 3 will go, because the other 2 or the other 3 are not up to size. But I'm really wanting the anacondas to breed, but that's probably in another 4 years. There we go. Really cool colors on her. Shadows. So, I don't know, I just really like the butter clowns, and I really want to put the banana clown to her. And the black pastel was giving me a ton of issues for like the longest time. And then she went back on food. Oh, there she goes. Perfect. That makes me excited. So, makes me happy that she's eating again. So, I don't know. A lot of people say it's the pieds that go off eating, which she did. The other pied I showed you's off of food, and then for whatever reason, the Super Mojave's off food as well, but she shed. Like I said, she shed. She's doing well. I've misted this down, given her plenty of humidity. I don't know. I tried lives. I've tried frozen thawed, heating them with a hairdryer, and it's like nothing works. I leave it in there with her. The next day, I waste the rat. It smells up the room. Everything else. And then this girl right here, before we end this off, she's probably smelling some of the rats, so we gotta be careful. This girl shed 2021 black pastel. So 2 female black pastels in the room. She only has a little bit of coloration on her head, and that is it. So the other black pastel that we just fed was all white. When I first got her in 2020, she was all white with just the head marking and then a little bit on her tail. And she had none of this black spot. So these randomly came in. I'm wondering if the other baby black pastel in here will do the same. I'm not sure. And this girl right here is definitely hungry. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll give her a bigger meal. I don't know, but she's halfway underwater eating, which is interesting. It's cool to watch. It's cool to watch all the snakes eat. I've noticed the anacondas do wrap. They wrap their meals way tighter than the other snakes, and they kind of eat through their body. This girl's not really wrapping too much. Maybe it's too small of a meal. I'm not sure. But the larges come in a huge variety of sizes. So it could be like, I could be wrong on this, but it's like 90 grams all the way up to almost 200 grams. So when you buy larges, it's kind of like you don't want to get a 180 gram rat when you only want a 100 gram, because that's a big difference. Man, this girl's wasting no time at all. She normally takes a while to eat, but hungry. I haven't really had her out too much for interaction. She's done very well for me. I love the colorations on her. I know I have 3 anacondas. They kind of all look different. This girl right here has the brightest color band behind her eyes. It's very orange. And then her coloration is very green. Different markings on her, different positionings of the black spots. We'll come over here really quickly too. And I know I hate showing you guys anacondas all the time, but they're just here and accessible, and I just like looking at them. So, Oliver, you can see how dark he is. Very dark. I'm trying to get him on frozen thawed. He loves live rats, so frozen thawed is becoming a challenge, but I'm hoping he switches over soon. I'm just glad I don't have to deal with rats on him, and this lady is done, except for the tail. But I love the coloration on her, and it just makes me excited to think about the future of, yeah, breeding ball pythons are cool. We see it every day. I'm not knocking anything or anybody, because I'm probably going to do it as well, or I'm definitely trying to. You know, any video we see is ball pythons laying eggs, hatching, but just the thought of the anacondas giving out a bunch of live birth, just, you know, gets me excited for the next couple of years. So this girl's got a long way to go, and I'm not going to pump her full of food just to get her up to breeding size quickly, because anacondas, I think 4 to 6 years is basically the typical age on breeding them. 4, I've seen them slug out. Normally 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds do very well. So we'll have to see. But that was quick. That was very fast on her eating. Normally it takes a lot longer than that. But that's it, guys. I appreciate the support on the channel. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and hopefully you guys are enjoying your snakes and the weekend. I'll see you guys on the next video.